What's up, guys? Rick here, and today I'm showing you my favorite ways to sweat golf. That could be my fantasy lineups or my bets, or I just want to follow along because let's be real. Golf is an excellent DFS sport. It's a great sport to bet on, but once the event starts, it gets a little more difficult to follow. The coverage doesn't start with every single golfer. You can really only see a handful of guys on Thursday and Friday, and then on the weekend, if your guy is not near the top of the leaderboard, you probably aren't seeing much of him. So there needs to be other ways, and a lot of our industry doesn't plug that gap, but there are a few options. So I'm going to show you how I follow my golfers, how I sweat the action, and how I enjoy the 4-day sweat that is golf. Let's jump into it. I'm going to start with the live leaderboard on RickRunGood.com. And yes, of course, this is my own website, but this is a free tool and one that I find very helpful and was built specifically because I was having trouble following golf when it started. So it's a very simple leaderboard. It shows you the golfers' DraftKings salary and their current fantasy points, their score and their position in the golf tournament, including their round through today, and then, of course, the strokes gained metrics for each round. And you can adjust. Maybe you just want to see round 1. Maybe you want to see rounds 1 and 2, just 2, whatever combination of rounds that you want. This tool will allow you to use it. Now, there has been a couple of small updates recently. You could always search for a specific golfer or multiple golfers if you separate them by a comma. And now it should be a little bit more user-friendly on mobile devices, and you have the ability to favorite golfers. So for example, if I had a lineup that was really doing well, I could come down here and favorite these guys, and they will stay attached at the top so that they are always available and in my view. Not only can I keep track of all of my golfers in one spot, but I can see how they're playing if I want to use that information for any showdown or fantasy purposes. And I can just understand more about their game, their fantasy scoring, and their position on the leaderboard all in one spot. Next up is the live predictive model at Data Golf. And I don't necessarily look personally at the player by player chances of them winning the golf tournament, but there are two things that I use constantly. One is the cut line probabilities. The number one question I get on every single Friday is, Rick, what is the cut line going to be? And I direct everyone right here. So as of right now on this Friday, -2 is about 80% to be the cut line, while -3 is about 20%. And this will change throughout the day. And you can see which golfers are closest to that cut line. That is part 1. Part 2 of what I use constantly is the hole-by-hole course stats to see how difficult the course is playing and which holes specifically are playing more easy or more difficult than others. This is a great way to say, wow, I've got golfers who started on the back 9, but now they're going to make the turn, and number 1, number 4, number 5, number 7, and number 8, they're all playing over par. And in fact, the front 9 is playing about 3/4 of a shot more difficult than the back 9. And you can split this by waves, the morning and the afternoon wave. You can split it by which round you want. So just a lot of really cool options to see the action as it's unfolding here at Data Golf. And then finally, cutsweats.com. This one bridges the gap between all the other tools. The number one question I get is, what is the cut line going to be? The number 2 question I get is, how many 6 of 6 lineups are there? That is what Cut Sweats is for. So as of right now, you can see that there are less than 3% of 6 of 6 lineups that are going to make it through if the cut line stays at -2 for the Travelers Championship. This is updating in essentially real time every couple of minutes. This alone is worth the subscription, because this is a subscription site, but the ability to see which one of, what percentage of golfers are going to be able to get through, do I have leverage on the field, all that good stuff, that is worth the subscription alone, but there's way more if you are even a casual DFS player. If you scroll down, you can see your exposures. Which players are you most exposed to? How many total entries do you have them in? How many 5 of 6 or 6 of 6 lineups do you have them in? You can see your lineups, how many 4 of 6, 5 of 6, 6 of 6 golfers that you have, and you can see your contests. And not only your contest, you can see every contest on DraftKings. This is insane. Maybe I want to see the 8 iron for this week. So I'll just put an 8 in there, and you'll see here it is. The 400K 8 iron. This is the big one, $100,000 to first. I can click this and see which golfers are the most owned compared to my ownership. And I can see whether they're going to make the cut or not and how that might impact the 5 of 6 and 6 of 6 numbers. For example, this is specific to the 8 iron. Only 2% of lineups in the 8 iron are getting 6 of 6 through. 50% of mine are. Ooh, Rick might be in for a good weekend here. So you can see how you compare to the rest of the field. I love using this to sort by ownership, the most owned golfers. Right now, Paul Casey seemingly safe on the cut line. This round is not over yet. We'll see if he makes it through. Abraham Answer is going to be the highest owned golfer who does not make the cut, but it goes deeper than that. So we are in for a cut line that might be -2 or -3. Paul Casey is going to move the market significantly. Right now, as I showed you, there are only 2% of lineups that are going to get 6 of 6 through. Here's the best part. You can customize this leaderboard. So watch what happens here. If I move a very popular Paul Casey outside the cut line, where is he? Here he is. Very popular Paul Casey. Let's move him outside the cut line to -1. Let's also move out another pretty popular Bryson DeChambeau. And let's check out the new cut distributions. Oh yeah, now we are getting a bit lower, 2.1% instead of 2.7%. You see that my lineups have moved from being 6 of 6s to 5 of 6s. So this is a tool that allows you to know the golfers you should be rooting for and should be rooting against. I think there's a lot of times where you can be rooting for the wrong guys to get through because maybe someone that you have a lot of exposure to, you want to get through, but you realize that golfer's not in any of your 6 of 6s. So this is a really nice way to be able to see different exposures for the week. If that wasn't enough, you can basically see this information for any other user on DraftKings, which is wild and incredibly valuable. So if I just go to settings and change my username to someone else, let's call it Awesemo, save this, go back to the dashboard. Now I have his information. Tony Finau in 420 entries for $14,000. That's not going to be a great week because Tony Finau is going to miss the cut. But you can see his contests. You can go to the $1 million pitch and putt. You can go to that cut distribution, see that he has 0.6 of 6s. He's underweight on 5 of 6s, underweight on 4 of 6s, and how his ownership compared to the rest of the field. There's just so much information that is available to you for not only yourself, but for everybody else. It's really remarkable. And this tool is well worth the 10 or 20 bucks a month that I pay for it because it makes the viewing experience much better and it makes me a smarter player when all is said and done. There you go. 3 simple tools that I use every single week to help me better understand the golf tournament and how my exposure or my bets relate to that golf tournament. So I will link all 3 of those in the description below. I wish you the best of luck. If you have a tool, a site, something you want to share, tweet me at RickRunGood or leave a comment below. Talk to you guys soon.